Good morning. Let's have a quick chat about some of the books that I finished this month. This isn't a video that's going to be too long. I'm not going to go into too much detail about these books because I have been doing a weekly update every Friday. So most of the books I have already talked about. So we're just going to keep it short. So in the month of January, I have managed to finish 9 books. One of them was an audiobook and the rest were physical copies. And I have mainly been reading romance and fantasy. So let's get into it. Remember the order of the books that I read. They've just been chucked in this box and I'm just going to pick it out randomly and just quickly talk to you about what I thought, what I rated it, and then we'll move on to the next. So I did read Wicked in January. I do actually believe this was the first book that I read of the year. I rated this one 3 stars. I did enjoy it. There were certainly some aspects of this one that I did very much enjoy. However, I did find myself, again, lost a lot of the time. I think the sort of pacing was very bizarre. I did manage to take a lot of it in. But I was confused at times and I knew that it wasn't going to be anything like the film. I watched the film in November and absolutely fell in love with it. But like I said, I knew that this was completely different. But yeah, I'm glad that I read it. Like I said, 3 stars. It was a good book to start off the month. And that's it. January, I did find a no favourite author and it all started with this book, and that was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I love this one. I rated this one 5 stars. I read this as part of a book club and it introduced me to Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I just need all of her books. I absolutely love this one, and the other book that I read from her this month as well was also 5 stars. So definitely recommend this author, this book, and I can't wait to read more. Moving on to Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. I rated this one 4 stars. I was a bit disappointed with this one. I certainly didn't enjoy it as much as the others from the series. Those books have completely stuck with me. Their stories just live rent-free in my brain. I love the characters, and I do love the characters within this book, but I did just find them a little bit cringy at times. And yeah, that is it. I am definitely going to carry on reading books when she does bring out more for the series, and hopefully I will go back to loving them just as much as I love the other books. But I am glad that I read this one, and that's all I can say about it. So Unravel Me is one of the books from the Shatter Me series. I think it's the second book, but there are novellas as well within them, which I have been reading as well, but I'm pretty sure this is the second main book. I have had this series a very long time. I have been enjoying it. I am looking forward to getting to book 3. I did enjoy this one as much as the first one, apart from one character. I feel like we have a theme going here, but one character I'm finding very cringe and frustrating. But I am looking forward to seeing where this one goes. I did read the second novella at the start of Feb. I read that in like an hour because they're only like 90 pages. So I'm looking forward to starting book 3, and hopefully this series just keeps getting better, which I have heard that it does. The next book I'm going to talk to you guys about is a first book of a series, and that is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I have heard many good things about this series and I can see why. I really enjoyed this one. I think this was the second book that I finished in January. I read it in 2 days and I rated this one 5 stars. The characters were really easy to like. I like the fact that we were practically at Disneyland, and it is a billionaire romance, which is one of my favourite tropes as well. And I cannot wait to carry on with the rest of this series. I am going to try and start book 2 this month. I don't have book 3, so I do need to order that one. But very excited, very much loved it, and I cannot wait to see where this one goes. Going back to Taylor Jenkins Reid, like I said before, I fell in love with this author. I have fallen in love with these books. This was an easy 5 star from me. This is Carrie Soto is Back. I never thought that I would enjoy a book about tennis, but I was clearly wrong because I was just so immersed within this book. I loved everything about it. I couldn't put it down. I was thinking about it when I wasn't reading it, and I just love the way that the story was told. And I can't wait to read more from this author. It was amazing. The next book I'm going to talk to you about was an easy 5 stars, and that was A Soul of Ash and Blood from Jennifer Hale Armentrout. Easy 5 stars. Love this series so much. I really enjoyed the fact that we went back to Blood and Ash, which is the first book, but from a different point of view. So we're following Hawke's point of view, and I loved it because From Blood and Ash is one of my favourite books of all time. So being able to relive it again through somebody else's eyes, I just loved it. I cannot wait to carry on with the rest of the series. The next book for this one is out in June, but me and my sister Kez, who we've been reading it together, we are going to read the prequel series, and then when June comes around, we will start on the next book, which is the final book. So yeah, loved it. 5 stars. Love these characters. Poppy is my ultimate female main character. Love it. Just love it. The last physical copy that I read was Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is obviously a very popular series. A lot of people love it. I did rate this one 4 stars. I definitely enjoyed it more than Iron Flame, but not as much as Fourth Wing. Again, there was so much in here that I did really enjoy, but there were also some parts that I didn't necessarily enjoy. I did find myself not concentrating much. I was sat reading it and my mind would wander elsewhere. So it didn't really grab my attention as much as I'd hoped. But that being said, I did actually enjoy the way that it ended. There were, like I said, some things I didn't necessarily enjoy, but I'm glad that I read it. I said in my previous video, when I did my reading update about this one, that this one was sort of going to determine whether I was going to carry on with the rest of the series or not. And luckily it has kept my faith in the series, and I will be carrying on with the series. And finally, moving it on to the final book, which was the audiobook that I listened to, and that was Lights Out. This one was amazing. I loved it. It was incredible. The voice actors really made this one for me. I really enjoyed the story, the different aspects of it. I liked how dark it was, but it wasn't too dark. I feel like this is a good introduction to dark romance if you are sort of dipping your toe into that genre. Easy 5 stars, incredible. Cannot wait for the next book in this series to come out, because I will definitely be listening to that one. And yeah, do yourself a favour, give it a listen or read. But the audio was amazing. So that is it from me. Those are all the books that I finished in January. I do feel like I had a very good month. I did rate most of the books extremely high. And yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the books that I have picked out for February. I have just got myself a new Kindle, so I am hoping to get a bit more use out of my Kindle Unlimited subscription. And that is it. I will be back next week with another video, and I'll see you there. Bye.